I would like to thank all of you for your generous support to Palestine at this very critical moment. I say this because water and your support to water, with all the effort that has been injected to support the development process in Palestine, water has three main dimensions. First, it is political. Second, it's technical. And third important issue, it is commercial. For Palestine, when we have the water balance sheet of 800 million cubic meters, and Israel takes 600 million cubic meters of our water, that makes it very political. You have been engaged with us in Gaza for water desalination, tried to provide technical solutions to water issues. We buy our own water from the Israelis on commercial basis at a rate of 3.6 shekels per cubic meter. And we sell it to the public for 2.6. We're actually subsidizing by 1 shekel or of 1 shekel every single cubic meter that is supplied to every Palestinian household. And that has been making things possible. It is without you, my dear Stefan and Sophie and the team, Holland and Denmark and all the donors who are contributing to the trust fund that the bank is running, it is with your support that these things becomes possible. Having said that, the focus on Jenin is not by coincidence. The focus on Jenin is simply because we have covered with your assistance Gaza from north to south, quite a number of projects in the rest of the West Bank. And I don't want to say that Jenin has been left behind. No, there has been a lot of work in Jenin, but now the last remaining 7 villages in the whole of Palestine will have a water network. So today we will announce that there will not be any single village or town or refugee camp in the whole of Palestine without a water network. So thanks to you for this contribution. That is a landmark in this water sector. The other important issue, water is a final status issue. And for us, the solution for the water shortage is not a technical solution. Technical solutions contribute to the solution, yes. But for us, the issue is about water rights. And what we fight for is our rights. And a human being needs, according to WHO, 120 liters per person per day. Palestinians consume 72 liters per person per day. Our cousins are enjoying so much water to the extent that every Israeli consumes, he or she, 430 liters per person per day. So that shows you that 1/3 of the water that goes into the Israeli kitchen is water generated in the Palestinian territory. And this is every single settlement, 285 settlements, 751,000 settlers. They live, they wash, they irrigate from our resources, from our water. It's not only that. River Jordan has more history than water. There is really no water in the River Jordan. And that is why the Dead Sea is shrinking. And my dear friends, since you are visiting, if you have a good camera, go to the Dead Sea, because by the year 2044, there will be no water in the Dead Sea. It will be really Dead Sea. Having said that again, Municipal Development Fund is important, and thanks to the contribution for this. Why do I say this? Because remember, at a time when Israel has not allowed us to have our own national elections by blocking our elections in Jerusalem, we have managed to have local government elections in all of the Palestinian territory, hoping for next phase to be implemented in Gaza. So these elected municipalities, they need support. We want them to sit on the driving seat in the development process, but every single penny to support their effort is more than welcome. Last point, I don't want to keep you standing, even though I enjoy the scene. But there is what, my dear Stefan, you mentioned. This contribution also has to do with our reform agenda. Remember, we presented a very sort of wide scope of reform, 21 points, that does cover every aspect of life: security, local government, public finance, and so on. All these sort of things that we are focusing to reform. Reform is about, we think something is wrong, we want to do it right. Very simple definition of what reform is about. One aspect of this reform has to do with water and electricity. That certain communities who are provided with water, they collect the bills, but they don't transfer the money. And here our biggest problem is Gaza. Because we spend in Gaza 40 million shekels every month on electricity, and we get zero. And we spend 35 million shekels on water, and we get zero in return. So net lending, 75% of it has to do with Gaza issues rather than the West Bank. But still, this is a problem we need to handle. One way of doing it when it comes to electricity is that we are establishing the Palestine Electricity Company, so it will be a private entity, so that people will be collecting, or the company will be collecting all the bills from West Bank and Gaza. We already established a national water company. That's also a step in the right direction when it comes to reforming the water sector. To conclude, my dear friends, I'm grateful to the effort that you have been financially, politically injecting and helping us. I know how much Germany has invested. What is good about the German, Danish, Netherlands, and the bank's assistance, that it fits neatly within our priorities. Usually, donors' recipient priorities don't match. They might match by 80%, 70%. But I want to tell you, Stefan and Sophie, my dear colleagues, welcome. You're visiting here. To the team, thank you. And I want to tell you that we work together in the spirit of partnership for peace and justice. And you are here, all of you, for one thing: to help us build institutions, build capacity in the institution, the human capital, all that needs for Palestine to become sovereign, independent, viable, contiguous state on the borders of 1967. And I appreciate the political statement by Germany, by Denmark, by Netherlands, by Europe in general, even by Biden, who spoke about 2 states on the borders of 67. So I am grateful to the political statement. And for you, the issue is not about political rhetoric. The issue is also about tangible support. People will have water to drink, and people will have things to feel. It's because of you these things has become possible. Thank you so much for all what you do for Palestine. I myself, the person who stands here on the capacity of being the Prime Minister, I'm grateful to every single euro that you spend in Palestine in the most transparent way. And you know for sure that transparency for us is the name of the game, and that we fight for things to be by the book, by your book, by your book, by your book, by all the books that we together read from the same book. It's not that you read from one book and we read from another. The book that we read from is Peace for All, Justice for All, End of Occupation, Two-State Solution. Jerusalem is the capital of the state of Palestine. Palestinian refugees in Lebanon and Syria and Jordan and Gaza have not been there for 75 years on vacation. They need to go back home. Thank you so much. شكرا جزيلا لكل الفريق. يعطيكم العافية وبارك الله فيكم. شكرا.
Thank you, Your Excellency. by thanking the team who are sitting on this side of the auditorium. Really, I know how hard they work to bring us to this day, to this moment. Really, thank you. And with that, we will be concluding our event today, and there is some refreshments.
Yalla.
Okay.
So, please.